Welcome to the No Spin News, Thursday, September 12th, 2024. Stand up for your country. The debate fallout continues. I'm doing a lot of press, a lot of marketing for Confronting the Presidents, and this is a very, very hot topic on a number of levels, as it should be. First of all, I tell everybody that Donald Trump can recover. Not all is lost. All right? And that will happen. His recovery will happen if the Republican Party and the candidate himself changes course. Sorry, same old isn't going to work. Okay? So here's a vivid example of how to do that. The former president's main theme on Tuesday night was the open border catastrophe. And that's true. Anybody defending that open border, you got to be mad or so blinded by partisanship, you're not worth even considering. He brought it up 7 times, Trump did. But he never nailed it emotionally. So here's how he could have done that. Very early in the debate, when David Muir or whoever, Lindsey Davis, asked him a question, all Donald Trump had to do was say, I'll get to that question in a moment, but something is really bothering me tonight while I stand on this stage. And I want to apologize to the family of Lake and Riley in Georgia for the murder of her daughter, allegedly by an undocumented migrant from Venezuela. I want to apologize on behalf of the United States to you, the Riley family. And I would like the vice president, he turns and looks at her, to do that as well. Stunning. Over. Brings home the catastrophe of the open border in a vividly personal way. Now, is Kamala Harris going to apologize? Throws her off her game, puts her on the defensive, and if she ignores Trump's entreaty, he brings it back. He goes, now would be a good time for you to apologize. Or David, are you going to ask if the vice president is going to apologize to the Riley family? This is how you control the debate. You become the narrator. You become the agenda setter. Trump was on the defensive all day long. He had to know. There's no excuse. Republicans are running around going, oh, it's 3 against 1. Oh, no. What a bunch of blather. I could have taken those 3 on in, 30 seconds. There wasn't an intellect among those 3 people, the 2 moderators and the vice president. There's no intellect there. And they can do any shady thing they want. You just keep telling the audience what they're doing real time. You become the narrator, the controller of the debate. Donald Trump didn't even come close to doing that. He allowed himself to go on the defensive, allowed himself to get baited, allowed himself to waste an incredible amount of time on stuff that doesn't matter. All right, the talking points memo this evening is what I did last night. So I was at an event for Joe Namath's charitable foundation. And Namath is a friend of mine. I idolized him growing up. I wore white shoes playing college football, just like he did, playing pro football. And I've been fortunate enough to get to know him and call him a friend. And I support his charitable foundation, which helps athletes, mostly football players, with brain injuries because of their play on the field. It's a very worthy charity. Anyway, the place is packed on Long Island, packed. So I walk into the room and was introduced very nicely by a former New York Jet, Greg Buttle. And the whole night, I spent talking to people who came over and wanted pictures, and I like that. I like to talk to people. I mean, everybody asked me what I thought of the debate, and I said, look, watch the No Spin News or listen to me on the radio, and but I want to know what you thought of the debate. And it was evenly divided between Democrats and Republicans. The room. I mean, this was a mostly sports room. It's a golf charity, that kind of thing. And the kickoff dinner was last night. I tell you what, I was surprised. There wasn't anybody in that room that approached me. And again, I had an even amount of Republicans and Democrats that was enthusiastic about that debate or liked the debate or felt the debate was worthy. No one, whether they were Trump supporters or Harris supporters, no one. And the reason is that Americans, unless you are poisoned with ideology, unless you are so hateful toward either candidate, most Americans are uncertain now. We've gotten hurt badly under Biden. There's no question. Financially, working people have gotten hammered and continue to get hammered and will continue. And if, God help us, Kamala Harris is ever elected president, it's going to get worse. So there's an uncertainty about it. Even the Democrats are very uncertain. They don't know what Harris, who she is or what she'll do. And it's all fine to say, oh, I want joy and I still retain my values. Well, your values, lady, are far, far left, much further left than Biden. That's what your values are. That's what they have been since you started in San Francisco. Well, if you know, my values haven't changed, that's scary. You're flip-flopping all over the place, but essentially you're going to go back to being a radical progressive. And the Democrats feel that, even though they hate Trump. So I'm going to tell you tonight something very important. I am pretty good at predicting. You all know that. In fact, I was thinking about changing my name to Nostradamus O'Reilly. Well, I don't know if that has a good flow. So I accurately predicted, that Trump would win in 16. I didn't predict Biden-Trump, in 20, because I knew it was just too razor thin. I accurately predicted that Biden would not run. Okay, you all know that. So if Kamala Harris is elected, I know what she will do. There's no doubt in my mind. I know. And I'm going to tell you, and hopefully there are some Republican big shots, maybe even the former president, watching this evening. Because in order to win the election in November, the Republican Party has got to course correct. You can't keep doing this. You've got to become less Trump-centric. Not repudiate Trump. He's the guy. He's your man. You got to support him. But it should be her, not him, because everybody knows him. Number one, Kamala Harris is elected. This country will go big time into equity. I'll remind you again what equity is. Favoring certain groups. Okay? It's not e pluribus unum, out of many one. No. It's this group gets more. This group gets treated special. She is the queen of equity. She is also a semi-socialist. What does that mean? She's not a Marxist. She doesn't even know what that is. A semi-socialist is somebody who wants to redistribute income to give the money the federal government acquires from working people and affluent people and corporations to the equity-favored groups. That's what it is. So to be this massive taxation, has to be. If she's going to give people $25,000, put a down payment on a home, if she's going to give everybody $6,000 if they have a kid, this is money, boom, this is trillions and trillions of dollars. We don't have that money, okay? So she's got to go in and tax everybody. You go, oh, if you're a $400,000, that's a bunch of bull. Because once you tax a corporation or a company, that's passed on to the consumer who buys the products from that company or corporation. Everybody knows that, all right? But the Democrats will never acknowledge it. So, equity income redistribution. That will get America, number one, more divided than it is now, more bitter, as people are paying more for everything. And it will put us into a recession because there will be fewer jobs available. When the companies and corporations are taxed at 28% from 21, they're going to lay people off. Massive layoffs. And then the Democrats are going to have to increase the entitlements for the people who don't have a job. It becomes a socialistic state, Washington. controls the flow of dollars into the consumer's pocket. And again, it's all minority. So if you're a trans, you're Harry, and you want to be Sally, Kamala wants to pay for it with tax money. I got to pay for that operation. This is her value system. All right? Then she's going to go into the criminal justice system and say she only has sway over federal crimes, but she can eliminate money going into cities don't cooperate. She's going to say, look, we're going to redesign this whole thing. If you're a criminal and you steal less than $1,000, we're not going to prosecute you. That's what they do in California. It's a misdemeanor. You get a ticket. If you punch somebody in the face and break their nose and alter their life, we're not going to, and there's not going to be any bail. No bail. You're out after 2 hours. It's like you got pulled over for going through a red light. That'll accelerate. And we know that because of what she did after the George Floyd killing. All right? So these people were burning down and throwing things at police and beating the people up and looting. And she tried to raise money to get them out. That's who she is. That's her value system. All right? And then it extends overseas. One world government. One world. Obama tried this and he got killed on it. All right? We're not one world. We're the big dog, the United States. We have to control China and Russia and Iran, the jihad. Germany's not going to do it. All right? They can help, but it's us. Harris doesn't want that. And Harris has to cut the military budget. Has to. In order to get the money to pay for the trans operations and every other crazy progressive thing you've ever seen. And she'll be right on board with reparations for slavery. Cash payments to African Americans. Because every African American in the country is going to say, hey, I had an ancestor, came over from Africa and they were enslaved. You know how many trillions of dollars that's going to cost? That's her value. All right? Just add it up. And then the border. You think she's going to inhibit the border? She's not. She's going to give amnesty to every single undocumented person here that hasn't committed a felony. That's her value system. Everybody gets amnesty. Now, if the Republican Party would take what I just told you in the last 8 minutes and run ads, don't even mention Donald Trump. That's how you win both houses of Congress and the presidency. You want that? Now, most of you know liberal people and Democrats will vote for Harris. If you're a premium or concierge member on BillO'Reilly.com, and I would advise you do this, just get a transcript of what I just said. You'll have it right in front of you in writing. And just read it to these people. Is this what you want? Big unemployment boost when the corporations and companies begin to lay people off because they got to pay more tax? Is that what you want? Because most people are in this ideological fog and there's no direction. Television is corrupt as it's ever been. It's a sewer. I mean, one of the reasons that BillO'Reilly.com is so fabulously successful, I'm not bragging, I'm just stating, it's because we don't do that garbage. We're not in business to spin anything. What I just told you will absolutely happen. She will try to do it. And you can say, oh, O'Reilly, she's not going to control the Senate and the House. That's true. But by executive order, she can do a lot of what I just told you. And yeah, it'll be challenged, but this whole country will be one big blanking mess. You think it was bad under Biden? Biden has no belief system at all, other than he wants to go to the beach. That's his primary belief system. That's his values. I want to sit under the umbrella. All right? Harris, she is a progressive. She will do as she's told because she's not smart enough, all right, to execute policy. She isn't. But the people with her, I mean, just go down the list of her supporters. You know who they are. Bernie Sanders loves Kamala Harris, loves her. Harris, the most liberal out of 100 senators in the year 2019. She beat out every senator on the liberal front. This is what the Republican Party has got to get out, and they got enough money to do it, these political action committees. And Trump at the end goes, I'm Donald Trump and I approve that message. If this continues, it's all about Donald Trump and his grievances. Harris will beat him. Republicans have to course correct now. And that's the memo. You work hard to support yourself and your family, but it may seem like you never take that next financial step forward. If the bills are higher than what you bring in, a credit card might be what's making up the difference for you. The problem is the debt keeps on growing. Well, if you own a home, my friends at American Financing can help you break that cycle. American Financing saves people like you an average of $854 a month. Even better, it costs nothing to find out how much you can save. And if you call American Financing today, you might be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. So start your journey towards being credit card debt-free. Please call 888-462-9557, 888-462-9557, or visit AmericanFinancing.net. Okay, YouTube address. We have 700,000 subscribers now on our YouTube channel. We want to hit 1 million. So it's youtube.com/Bill O'Reilly. Free. And I do commentaries 3-4 times a week that aren't on the No Spin News. So it's just another vehicle for me to get stuff out. They're short. It's short. It's not long. But I think it's worthwhile for you guys to sign up because we're going to put videos on there. We're going to put a lot of stuff that we don't have on the No Spin News. Again, youtube.com/Bill O'Reilly. My latest column on YouTube will be filed tomorrow. Okay, and it'll be about the debate. Okay, let's go to the mail. Concierge member Rich. So Rich gets direct access to me. Remember, become a concierge member or a premium member to BillO'Reilly.com. Get Confronting the Presidents or any of my other killing books absolutely free. I can't do better than that. And you get the transcripts. My God. Okay, here's Rich. Pretty bad when we're talking about who had the best vision for America instead of saying who did the worst. To me, this is the problem. But the choice before us, it's not what it should be. So Rich lives in Honolulu, Hawaii. I'm not going to comment on the choice because the people made the choice on the Republican side. The power brokers made it on the Democratic side. Renee Storms, Mooresville, North Carolina. Bill, as crazy as it may sound, does winning a debate even mean anything these days? Yeah. Trump hurt himself in the debate, and Harris did not hurt herself. I mean, she did in the eyes of people like me who want accountability, but she didn't make any huge gaffes other than evading every question. And most people, they're not that concerned with that anymore. I don't know why. Al, concierge member, thank you, Al. To the extent that Kamala's goal was to get under Trump's skin and throw him off his game, she succeeded. However, if the goal of the audience was to better understand Kamala and the Democrats, she failed. True. But more Americans should demand that. You know, she's doing Warren Harding. Kamala Harris's campaign is exactly what Warren Harding did in 1920. And Warren Harding was like one of the biggest disasters of all time when he got elected. So that's in Confronting the Presidents. Nancy, another concierge member. I'm appalled at the bias of the moderators. The fact-checking of Trump, not Harris. All the lies Harris told, didn't learn anything about Harris. Yeah, but everybody knew they were going to be that way. I mean, Trump knew. He could have easily, that's not hard. Peter Lyons, Seagirt, New Jersey. I'm disgusted with ABC. I know you said there's nothing we can do about the corporate media, but if Trump supporters divest their shares in Disney, wouldn't that hurt them? No. Disney shares are held by institutions. So you can sell there are companies I will not associate with in any way, buy their stock or do anything. because I disdain them, but it's not going to hurt them, individuals. Fred Padota, Miami, Florida. Unfortunately, the only way to get a network's attention is to boycott. Okay, we don't believe in boycotts here, but yeah, you don't want to watch ABC News? Don't. Double up on the No Spin Nose. Nick Barrett, Exeter, New Hampshire. Bill, I think you should cut a deal with Disney to sell Confronting the Presidents outside the Hall of Presidents in their theme parks. And what time will hell freeze over in New Hampshire there, Nick? Disney's never going to do any. They won't even invite me on their news programs to discuss Confronting the President. They're going to do a display. Carrie Rego Alvarez, Miramar, Florida, just north of Miami. Hey, Bill, I have a question for you. For people who think about moving out of the USA if Kamala wins, where should we go? What is the country that closest resembles America? That would be Australia. Long way. But Australia, and I've been to 86 countries, it's the closest to here. You would think maybe England, Ireland, but no, the customs in England and Ireland are fairly different than here. But Australia, it's a more liberal country than the USA. You might want to think about that. But very similar in the whole tempo thing and how they do things. But if you don't move out of the USA unless you have to, and I don't, that's a really big decision. Kathy Ledbetter, Newark, California. I'm a recent concierge member, and I'm reading another book, but then yours just arrived in the mail, and I dropped the other book and started reading Confronting the Presidents. It's so interesting. Well, thank you, Kathy. It's very nice of you to read my book. Rich Kane, Gilbert, Illinois. My wife came running through the front door screaming. She was waving your book, Confronting the Presidents. It had just arrived. She then disappeared, and I haven't seen her since. Is that a good or bad thing? Well, I'm glad. I hope she enjoys it, Rich. Okay. Confronting the Presidents is in our store. Of course, we'll get it to you as fast as possible. Again, become a premium or concierge member on BillO'Reilly.com. You get it free. We have the mugs, political memorabilia, Team Normal, Not Woke, No Socialism, great price. You keep these forever, keepsakes. And word of the day, do not be churlish, CHURLISH. Trump is a little churlish on Tuesday. All right, back with a preview of the big documentary on NewsNation on Confronting the Presidents in a moment. Everything is expensive these days, you know that. The government is printing trillions of dollars and consumer prices higher than ever. If the government continues its printing and spending, the dollar could continue its free fall and lose its coveted role as the world reserve currency. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But there are a few things you can do right now. American Hartford Gold can show you how to protect your money, your retirement, your hard-earned savings against inflation by helping you diversify a portion of your portfolio into physical gold and silver. Start with a short phone call, and they can have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your 401k or IRA. So please call or text them right now. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you. Call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Again, that's 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. By now, you have heard me talk about Delta Rescue. They are a fantastic organization that helps rescue animals from the wilderness. You know, I'm a dog lover, so is Leo Grillo, the founder of Delta Rescue. It is his life's mission to provide everlasting care for these once abandoned animals. I myself have donated to Delta Rescue. Do you believe it is part of man's duty to care for dogs and horses, the animals that so much of our history is tied to? If so, please consider making a donation or consult your advisor about leaving a gift in your will or trust. There can be some tax advantages, and it's a great way to help Delta Rescue accomplish their mission. So please visit deltarescue.org to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. Okay, final thought of the day. In 2 days, we are approaching 75,000 copies of Confronting the Presidents sold in 2 days. Thank you all very much. That's an astronomical number in today's world. NewsNation was kind enough, and I'm using that word kind literally, to do a documentary about the book. And it features Leland Verdit, who used to work for Fox, interviewing me. And it's a really interesting doc. Roll the tape. So Johnson trafficked with his crew in blackmail. He lived across the street from J. Edgar Hoover. And their hobby was blackmailing people to get what they wanted. And they set up a bordello, a brothel. And some big politicians used it. And they used that because they were secretly taping against those politicians. So Lyndon Johnson, bad, awful, LBJ. And he ran a guy named Bobby Baker who went to prison. Where do you read about Lyndon Johnson? Do you think Nixon was bad? This guy. Anyway, so the hour that's going to run is on Sunday night, 9 o'clock, NewsNation. So I know Sunday Night Football. I know. Tape it. Tape the hour. If you can't, maybe you don't want to watch football. You want to, watch something where you will learn. And you will learn on this documentary. Very well done by NewsNation. Really, really well done. Top shelf. So that's, again, Sunday night, 9 Eastern. And we run it down. We don't talk about all 45, but we talk about the ones that really did good things and really did bad things. And we get into Biden. Remember, the subtitle of the book is No Spin Assessments from Washington to Biden. All 45. All right, we got chapters on all men. You can go around. You don't have to read it top to bottom, but if you do read it top to bottom, you'll know everything about your country because it's an amazing history lesson all the way through. But I don't rank them. I want you to rank them. But I tell you my opinion at the end of the chapter based upon what they did and didn't do. And it's interesting that people ask me, should Trump debate again? 1984, Trump got waxed, as we showed you last night, by Mondale. Second debate, Reagan I'm talking about. Reagan got waxed. Ronald Reagan came back and wiped out Mondale in the second one. So Trump should debate Kamala. Even if Putin puts it together in Vladivostok, if I were Trump, I'd go over and debate her again. Because you could reverse it. If you look at some of my talking points tonight, that's how you do it. All right, new column on Sunday. Really appreciate you guys supporting Confronting the Presidents, watching the No Spin News. We're the most successful independent news agency in the world now. It's all because of you. I couldn't write books. Nobody pay me if you didn't read them. I know that. And I'm very grateful that you guys are watching me and listening to me on our radio stations all across the country. Thank you, and we'll see you on Monday. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.